started here. So I am going to record this session. All sessions are recorded, and they are then put on my YouTube channel, which I will send out with an email after this particular class. First off, welcome. Thank you so much for being part of our Introduction to Networks classes, and also for being a student in our Instructor Training Center at Stanley Community College. I know some of you, many of you I don't know, so I'm going to give you a quick background on myself. My name is Kelly Caudle. I am the head of our Academy Support Center and also our Instructor Training Center at Stanley Community College. And I also run our IT Academy, which is our online continuing education offerings that range from VMware, Red Hat, Palo Alto, all of those. So I also am over our VMware Academy, Palo Alto Academy, Red Hat Academy, all of those. So if you have questions on those, I can at least point you in the right direction. I can't always answer the questions because I have some other folks under me who are more familiar with Palo Alto and VMware, but I am the main Cisco contact. We have been a Cisco Academy forever, put it that way, since 98, 99 in that area. I've been associated with the Academy that long. Some background on me, I do have 2 degrees in English, woohoo, and decided they were useless. Hope nobody else here is an English major. And so knew when I got my degree, my master's degree in English, that I would no longer be doing English because I took a class called Computers and Linguistics and enjoyed the computers much more than the linguistics. On a side note, I did my first 3 years at NC State in biochemistry, so it wasn't like I was a liberal arts person my entire life. If you've ever done the Myers-Briggs Test, when you sit dead in the middle, that's the worst place you can be because one day you want to read Shakespeare and one day you want to read a technical manual. So I've ended up on the technical manual side with some Shakespeare stuff over here too. You will notice if you watch my hands, if you ever meet me, I do have a spinal cord injury. You can see where it looks like I've been in a bar fight. Unfortunately, I wasn't, well, fortunately or unfortunately, either way, in a bar fight. I was hit by a car, actually by a truck 4 years ago. It'd be 4 years on March 25th. And I was paralyzed from the neck down. I was on a bicycle training for getting paralyzed. If you ever meet me, if you ever meet me, you'll notice my movements are weird, and that is because I've had a spinal cord injury. Thank God I can walk, and I am blessed to be able to walk. I do have on my Shepherd Center t-shirt. If any of you are living in the Atlanta area, support the Shepherd Center. It is an amazing spinal cord rehab center in Atlanta, right downtown Atlanta, near the Peachtree area. Hopefully you'll never need it, but if you ever need to have someone in your family with a spinal cord injury or acquired brain injury, then I can't say enough good things about the Shepherd Center. With that, I want to welcome you again to our Introduction to Networks class. I'm going to share out, I'm going to turn off my video because, like I said, there's no need to look at my ugly face here. I'm going to share over on my screen, and I want to show you a couple things. First off, I want you to be aware that I'm going to pull the chat out so I can see the chat. I'm going to pull out participants so I can see the participants too. So if you need anything, I've got that up and available too. So you should be, and if someone will verify they can see the Introduction to Networks that I'm sharing right now, it should just be a PowerPoint here that you're seeing. All right, we got it. You are an Introduction to Networks, and I want to go over the major sites for this class. I do apologize for any confusion. I try to make it as confusionless, to use a non-word, as possible, or as less confusing as possible. But anytime we start a new class, especially Introduction to Networks, there's some confusion about how do we get started, how do I log in. Folks, you didn't bother me. Trust me, it happens every single time. We have login problems. We have issues with people trying to get in. Wesley, I'm going to unmute you, and then you can mute yourself. That way you can unmute yourself if you want to. I just muted you when you first came in because you had some scratchy noise going on. It's like you're scratching your mic. No problem at all. That happens every time we start a class, and that is because you've got to log into 3 different sites. The first one is, of course, canvas.stanley.edu. So when you first logged in, you went into Canvas here, you went into your class. I've got a bunch more than you've got here. And then you did your introductory assignment, which is just literally putting in your information on the intro assignment. Almost everyone's done it. I've got one person who hasn't done it. I've got to get on them about getting it done because we've got to get it done today or tomorrow. If you do not complete this, I do have to drop you. That's just that's a rule we have because you're not allowed to be in the class if you don't complete that intro assignment. So that very first item I had you do, that was it. Now, in that same site, there are pass-through links to netacad.com, so you can go over to netacad.com by just clicking here and then opening the browser, or also over to NetLabs, which is SCC NetLabs, which is netlabs.stanley.edu. So if you wish to go to these sites through these pass-throughs, you are more than welcome to log in to Canvas every single time and click on them and go. However, you also have the ability, if you wish, to just go straight to www.netacad.com, which we'll go through here in a minute because that is our primary class site. It's also where you will read your materials, download your packet tracers, and upload your assignments. And then you also can go to netlabs.stanley.edu, which has the exact same thing, which is your where you're going to do your real labs. And I'll show you an actual lab there, and we're going to do a reservation, and I'll show you how that works. So Canvas, just make sure you've done the initial. The other thing I will ask is maybe every 2 weeks, log into Canvas, visit the class site just to show, quote, attendance, but you will be doing all of your work in netacad.com. Any questions on that? So very simply, you were just doing this is really just for our introductory assignment. Okay, so no questions. The next thing I did is I sent you a set of tokens, or a token, to get you into your class, which is this ITC Spring 2020 CCNA V7 Introduction. We're going to launch the course, and you're going to see you're going to have to log in, which I was already logged in. I don't know why it's logging in again, but it's doing it again. Ever since we went to single sign-on, it has been interesting. Let's just say that. Once in here, the important thing for you to do is to go over to where it says modules on the left-hand side. All right. When you click on the modules, you're going to see a listing of all the modules in this particular course, all the way up to 17. You're also going to have, I did put due dates in today on your calendar. Do not freak out. Okay. This is, let me state that again. Do not freak out. Those due dates are not set in stone. So if you miss a due date, I'm not going to count off. I'm not going to kick you out of the class. Now, if you miss a couple due dates, a couple weeks, and I don't see any movement, I may email you and say, hey, is there anything I can do to help you? But be aware, I know you're instructors. I know you work 40 hours plus a week. I know you've got families. I know you have other things going on. The big thing about the due dates is if I don't put due dates, you're probably like me, which means I'll put it off to the absolute last possible second. Putting due dates in, I have found, at least prods my instructors enough to know at this point you should be here. The other thing is this. There's a great deal of activities in here. I mean, when you look at module 1, there's not that much because it's just one PKA, one packet tracer. But you also see that there are all types of different things that go on here. We have packet tracers, regular labs. I will be honest with you, I think with this class, everybody can do all of the packet tracers and labs. It used to be previous versions, I would say you probably couldn't get it all done. But I think with the new version, you can get it done. The other thing is right now, the official end date for the class is April 29th. That's our end date in Canvas. You will notice I actually have a class meeting scheduled past April 29th. That is because I'm going to leave the NetAcad class open past April 29th. Now, I can't leave it open until August of 2020, but we'll have some time after the actual April 29th end date inside of Canvas to work some more. And so all the due dates are set by April 29th, but be aware, if you don't finish everything by then, we're going to have a little bit of flexibility. All right. So inside of here, again, once you're in the class, it's important that you go over to modules. Now, one of the problems you will see is if you go down here into module 1 and click on this PKA, and you click on it, oh, good gracious. Somebody please tell me I didn't misspell that, which I did. Representation. Okay. Okay. Found my first error. You, by the way, will get access to these shells. This is not normally in a class that's created, all these module items. These are items that I created and another instructor, Kirby Simerson, who's my other ITC instructor, created these. And this is how we used to do it. But I want to show you a problem. If you click here, and then you click page 157, you're going to get an access denied, okay? Because before you can click this link, you've got to actually open up the curriculum, the information. Now, under modules, you will see an item that says, eventually, when it gets there, it's being slow today, you will see where it says course content. Click on Introduction to Networks course, and then you will get a little item that asks you to load the curriculum or the course content in a new tab. So you're going to do that. Click it, load in a new window, pops up. Now this is where all of your actual course materials are. This is your textbook. There's no textbook for the class. This is your textbook. You will now notice too that when I go back to my modules, I've opened up the curriculum, all right, using that load, launching the course content, okay? So you can click here to do it. But under modules, now I can go under here, and if I click on my packet tracer activity and I click here, it will now take me to that activity. So now it's down to the packet tracer activity. Whereas before I got the access denied. What we figured out is once you open the curriculum once, you're basically being logged into this content hub, and then you're able to get into it. If you don't do that first, it's not passing that authentication through to the content hub, and you're getting the access denied. So if you've tried to click on any of these and got access denied, that is the reason why. You also notice on these particular assignments that I ask you to do the activity, do this packet tracer activity, and then upload a screenshot of the assessment items. Now, most of you don't know what packet tracer is, and I'm going to give you access to a free class that lets you go through intro to it's called Introduction to Packet Tracer. But you actually can open up, if you have packet tracer installed, when you click on network representation, it will download a PKA file, and when you click on it, it actually opens up packet tracer, and it's over here on another screen that I have. And so as soon as that gets up and running, I'll pull it over for you. Okay, I have to sign in, so it does require you to sign in. Any questions to this point? Okay, so I'm gonna bring this packet tracer over and show you. This is packet tracer 157, and you'll see that we get packet tracer as a simulated environment. So we've got this simulated network. We've got directions that tell us, you know, what we would need to do in order to complete the assignment. So here it is. Now this particular packet tracer is what I call a look and see packet tracer. So you're not actually configuring anything. So when you look to here and you do check results, you'll see there's really nothing to do here. Later packet tracers, when you click check results, it will give you a percentage as to whether or not you've actually completed the assignment, the configuration task. And I'll show you one of those in just a second. But this one has information on what you need to do. It goes in, tells you, all right, do this, the icon bar, how many end devices are not desktop computers, what is the purpose of the devices, explain the difference between a LAN and a WAN. All of these items here, this is just a look and see packet tracer. All right. Later packet tracers, I'm going to show you one of those. We go back to modules. And I do like the fact in this, one of the first things you start doing is you actually start configuring devices inside of this class, which is good for your hands-on learners. So I'm going to click here. It opens up packet tracer that is part of 255, configure initial switch settings. Open this packet tracer up. And you're going to see immediately that there are some differences here in that this packet tracer has switches in it, just like the others. But you'll see that in this initial settings, it actually now tells you to do things. So for instance, it's going to say, if I click check results, The assessment items tell me that I've done nothing correct. So I'm not entered any of these items. I'm gonna close this, minimize it. I'm gonna go into the switch itself. And you'll learn how to do this. I mean, it's just going to global config, setting a host name of S1. And you will notice when I did that, or you would have noticed, I use 2 monitors, by the way, all the time. But you will see inside of the activity, I just got 6% completion. Now, if I do a check results, you will see that I have correctly entered the host name. So as you're doing the lab, it will actually give you points for the items that you're completing and give you a completion. This is where I want you to give me, when you get done, you're going to upload it, go to the assessment items, and now it's called Sketch. It's not called the snipping tool anymore. Don't ask me why. Microsoft just decided to give it a different name. But now you've got the Sketch tool. And so you go new, go over here, you can just grab it and save this and upload it. Now, if you uploaded this, I would obviously go, well, that's not complete. But when you get it completed, you'll have all these green that will give you a percentage to show you a full percentage. You also could do just give me a completion item right here. Just give me a copy of that. So again, as you go in here and put in, enable secret class, hopefully that's what they're asking for because I didn't even read the directions. Evidently not. Enable secret. Yes, enable password, so it would be Cisco C1SC. Okay, yeah. Password let me in on line console. I'll do that one. So I'm going here to line con 0, line console 0. Now I can do, it tells me to do enable, excuse me, it tells me to do password. Let me in. And you see how I got points immediately on the right-hand side down there. And login
class training here.
You see I've got points right here. So it immediately gives me points when I complete those tasks.
Oh,
well, it's kind of good to sometimes have the directions up on one window and be configuring on another window. So this is a packet tracer that actually has you doing true configuration. Questions about packet tracer?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
When you click on the class, like how do you bring up, like does the packet tracer automatically come up when you click in the module? I didn't see that piece.
Yes,
that
if you go to modules, I've got every one of the packet tracers listed here. So any packet tracer activity I want you to complete has a link here. And when you click on it, it will then inside of that say retrieve the packet tracer from page 157. And when you click 157, it will immediately take you to that part of the curriculum. And down here is 157. So for every packet tracer that's in the module, so again, let's go down here. I say you wanted to do 291. Click here.
Okay.
And then you've got a link right here, and
Yep.
that will take you into the curriculum to 291.
And so when we're in the curriculum, then where's the packet tracer for us to download? Is it already open?
If you're in the curriculum and you're going through the curriculum reading, you will also whoever
it's gonna work because I know that box works.
I just muted. Okay. If you
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. If you're reading the curriculum, so let's say we're reading the curriculum here and we get down to converging network and we scroll on down, keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. The packet tracer's down here. I just gave you a quick link to it inside the modules.
Oh, okay. So if can you go back to that screen, that packet tracer screen we use?
So we don't have to download packet tracer?
Yes,
so
you will have to download it, and I'll show you where to get that in just a second.
Right, that's what I'm getting. So right there we have to click
so you don't know how to
on
download packet. Okay, my bad. Okay, to do that, you need to go back to the main page. Okay, resources, packet tracer resources. So resources, packet tracer resources, and then you can download packet tracer right here. And you do want to use version 7.3. You must use 7.3 for our CSNA version 7. So you've got a 32-bit or a 64-bit download. So again, I'll show you that again. So you're logged into NetAcad, and you want to go get you want to go get, you're probably going to be on your learning page. You're going to be in I'm Learning.
Right.
So just go to Resources, Packet Tracer Resources, and then Packet Tracer download page and download 7.3. That, once it's installed on your machine, then anytime you click on one, it will download it and you can open it with Packet Tracer. I apologize. I see what you're saying now.
Thank
No
you.
problem.
But what I've done with the links is what I'm trying to do for you is just make it easier for you to know what's going to be due for each module. And be aware, folks, I know people see, oh, it's 17 chapters. Oh, that's so much. It's 17 modules. Some of these modules are pretty short, and you can read through them in 20, 30 minutes, less than 20 minutes. Some of them you can read in 15, 20 minutes. But the different items I want you to complete, I have all of them right here in the module. So once you complete 157, I want you just to upload answers to the questions. Again, remember, 157 doesn't have anything you actually have to configure. Once you get down here on the initial switch settings, I want you to upload the screenshot plus the actual PKA file that you've saved. So again, let me go in here and open it up for you. So I'm opening up this Packet Tracer. And again, I've already got it installed on my machine. So when I click that, it downloads. I go in here and do all my work on it. Okay, so I've done all my work. I can make 100 on it. You know, I get everything, get 100% completion. All right. So I go through all my directions, get everything correct, and then I'm going to go File, Save As, and just put your name in front of it. Just put your name and save it. And then you, because you're a student, you actually have a little upload item right here. You have an item where you can upload this assignment. I don't have that upload because I'm not in student view.
Oh, not yet.
So you can upload it right here underneath the assignments from modules.
Get one. See if you throw them in trash. Which part can it?
So every time you complete an activity, you will upload it, even the labs, okay? So Packet Tracer is using our simulated Packet Tracer environment. Is that clear? Because we do have real labs, and that is shown under the labs items. Those labs, we use real gear to complete. That is the last item or the last site you got to go to, which is the one I sent out today, NetLab. So when I go to schedule a lab for myself, and you won't have all of this stuff up here, you will just have schedule a lab. And I'm gonna go down and you have a class here, Intro V7. You can see lab 292, which maps to 292. So anything that's under labs, if it's not this is a written lab. So obviously you're not, when you read that one, you're not going to do anything in NetLabs, but this is configuring real devices. So I'm going to go in here and click, and you'll see now I've got all these pods available. Right now we've got 6 pods available that you can use. So be aware, it's not just 4 pods. If you click the arrow over here, there's more pods available. Actually, 6 pods that we have, and we will eventually have 8 or 9 pods available. You then can click anywhere to start a reservation. Now, if you know you've got time Friday, Saturday morning, you can go all the way out Saturday morning and you can do your reservation. But right now, the red line is our current time. So I'm going to click our current time. And you can schedule up to 4 hours. That's the max I allow you. I would say for most labs, give yourself 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Click Submit. At this time, you will then have a item that says Enter Lab. Now, if I click right now, it's not going to immediately pop up and show me the equipment. And the reason is, this is real gear booting in our data center. So there are really, the actual switches are booting, and a virtual machine is booting for each one of the PCs. So when we do these labs and you click here, same thing happens. You can go to page 292 of the curriculum, and it will tell you what the lab is, okay? Now, there's one issue that you need to be aware of here, and it's one that I need you to be very clear on. If you click this document and try to use this document from inside the curriculum, it may or may not work in NetLabs, because in NetLabs, you will see the content says this lab has been updated for use on NetLabs Plus. So when you go to do your labs and you've done your reservation, okay, you've done your reservation, you've entered the lab. At this point, you need to be using the lab documents under content to do the lab. And it will walk through and it tells you what all you need to do. I strongly recommend, especially the way the new curriculum is, that you do your packet tracers first, then go do these labs, because these labs do not handhold you anymore. They say, give the name, switch a name, prevent unwanted DNS lookups. These are all things you do in the packet tracers, but they're not showing you exactly how to do it in here. So again, be aware, this is real gear too. See, this is an actual switch booting up. This is the switch loading the iOS from Flash. Here's the other switch booting. These are virtual machines that have booted and are being placed in the correct VLAN to map to these ports. So this is real gear, and it does take about between up to 10 minutes for the gear to boot completely. Also be aware that if you do a 2-hour, 19-minute reservation or a 2-hour reservation, the last 10 minutes, you will not have access to the pod because it resets everything to a default setting. So it restores the PCs to a snapshot, and it also restores the switches to a blank setting. So be aware that when you do your labs in NetLabs, you must use the document that is inside of NetLab. Questions on that?
Yes. Do you have any written instructions for using the real labs, the NetLab? Do you have something that we can follow?
What do you mean by written instructions?
Well, do you have something that, like step by step, that we can follow when we get ready to do
not.
this?
No, I mean, you talking about the content for the lab itself right here?
Yes.
No, I do not. Cisco no longer provides that. The idea is, and it's actually going back to a way the labs used to be. You're going to do your packet tracers first. So you got to understand, there's a packet tracer that tells you how to do the initial switch settings.
Okay.
This packet tracer, if we go look at it again, if we look at the directions for that packet tracer, it gives you the exact commands you're supposed to use. There's how you give it a host name. There's how you configure the console. Here's how you do enable secret. It tells you everything.
Okay.
Here's how you do your banner. So if you go through and do this, then you are going to have the commands that are necessary for this lab.
Okay. Okay.
And it's really a teaching method they've used in the past, and the idea is we're not gonna spoon feed the students both places. We're gonna give it to them in a very cut and dry manner in the packet tracers, but then they're gonna have to apply what they learn inside of the labs themselves. And by the way, folks, these are the exact same packet tracers and labs your students are gonna do. So I am actually just using those. I'm not making anything new. I just do it so that you're aware and see what your students have to go through. I will tell you what I suggest. I suggest that when you're doing your packet tracers and you're walking through getting these commands, write down the commands. Make yourself a set of commands on how do I do an initial switch configuration. And then that way you've got those commands that you can use once you get over in the other one. Just like this one, basic switch and end device configuration. When we go here, when you look at your configuration again, it walks you through. Well, this one doesn't, but the other one before it does. Okay, so they're trying to get you to the point to where you can do the commands without having to have them just right in front of you.
Got it.
And there's some argument. Is that the best way to do it? People have argued for ages about that. I don't know. Having said, having seen it both ways, I like it. I like having both, but it does pose some challenges. Now, see, here we're in a real switch. So you see, this is an actual real switch, 2960 running 15. So the good news is you get to use real switches online, not just packet tracer. And that's one of the reasons why I teach this online, is because we have this system, the NetLab system.
Okay.
Questions? Other questions? So again, once we're in our class, and you got to have this open first, then you can go to your modules and actually click on the links inside of your assignments that are in the modules themselves. Again, do not freak out as you're walking through here and you're seeing, like I said, there are no labs in modules 5, 6, and there's just a couple in 7. The other item I want you to be aware of is when you look at the test for these particular chapters, there isn't a single test for chapter 1 and a single test for chapter 2. I have not enabled the exams yet because I'm still waiting on 1 or 2 classmates to get into the classes, but you will see there are a set of exams that are based upon, and I'll have to go back out to modules to show it to you. Actually, to the assignments. It's 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 11, I believe it is. Yeah. So 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, 14, 15, and 16 and 17. So we will complete the first 3 modules before you even have a test, and that first test is not due to February 23rd. So again, don't freak out if you start looking for, there's not an exam per chapter. There is, however, and something they've implemented, which I really like, is there are actual quizzes, module quizzes at the end of each one. So you actually can go in here and do a quiz, and it will, you know, grade you and tell you what you did and what it is, and you check, and it'll tell you whether you got them wrong or right. That's pretty awesome. Got one right, didn't even mean just clicking. So those are good. And also throughout the different sections, occasionally there's a quiz, check your understanding at the end of a particular section. So get out here, there's some, just real quick, you know, what is a network infrastructure, access to users, in a small geographic area, typically a network or department, that'd be a LAN. Provide secure access to individuals who work at different organizations, but require access to extranet and infrastructure over a large geographic area, WAN. You check, and it will tell you that you got it right. So this is new. This has been added into the curriculum, and I really like that. Okay. Be aware, again, as you're reading through the materials, you click on the introduction here. It tells you why should I take this module. It gives you an overview of what you're going to learn. And then you click next, and then you've got pretty much a fairly long, on some of these, a fairly long scrolling section just to get you to the difference. So 121, 122, all of this is part of the same little section. Okay. Now, I always get this question. After I read module 1, what should I do? Well, you should read module 2. And as soon as you finish reading module 2, I suggest you read module 3 and continue on until you finish module 17. It's something my students, and by the way, if your students are like my students, they don't like to read. Well, they basically won't read. So you do need to read it. You do need that you need to, you know, kind of make sure you've done the reading before you try to go and do any of the module PKA assignments or any of the labs. So read through first, then do that. Now you'll notice on your first module, you've only got a packet tracer assignment, and you've got one assignment that is just a written assignment. This one is good because it has you look at IT and networking job opportunities in your area, which you then can take back to your students and talk to them about. Again, you've got an upload here, so you'll go to this particular page. You will open up that particular item. You'll fill in the questions. Okay, what job titles did you search for? And just notice all of these. So you can just fill these out in a Word document and then upload them to our site right here. And then I will grade them. And you'll see once you upload them, I start getting listings on the right here showing things that need to be graded. And so I will do my best to grade the items that are submitted in a timely manner. So we've got these here. Okay. So I'm going to go back for a second and mention the sites again. So canvas.stanley.edu, you're pretty much done with. I do ask you to log in every 2 weeks or so just to quote, show attendance. www.netacad.com is where you're going to read your materials. It's where you're going to download your packet tracers and complete them, and it's where you're going to upload your assignments. All right. And then netlabs.stanley.edu is where you're going to do the labs using real equipment. Questions about these 3 sites before I show you a couple other things? Okay, I'm going to close this. What I want to show you is, once again, make sure you do know how to get packet tracers. So under resources, course resources, well, not course resources, resources, packet tracer resources, download. I am also going to send you access to a packet tracer. In fact, I can go ahead and show you this. If you wanted to just go ahead and log in, get enrolled yourself at stanley.edu under our IT Academy. I have free classes, and I have an introduction to packet tracer class that you can enroll yourself in by clicking on this URL. And I also have a free introduction to cybersecurity if anybody wants to get in that. But I would strongly suggest you get yourself enrolled in this introduction to packet tracer, and I will include this in the link for our for the recording that I will send out at the end of this class. But this is just a little 8-hour, real quick overview of what packet tracer is, how it works, what it can be used for, because you will be using packet tracer a great deal in your Cisco Academy classes. It also can be used if you are a Cisco Academy. It can be used in your non-Cisco Academy classes to do things like, for instance, if you wanted, you can build your own. Now we can't do it with this one because it's locked. But I'm gonna go create a new packet tracer. You actually have the ability, once you are a Cisco Academy and you've got packet tracer, you can take it and build your own topologies. So you could go in here and you can say, I want a 4321 router. I want 2 of those. I want a 2960 switch, maybe even 2 of those. And I want a layer 3 switch in here. So I'm gonna put a layer 3 switch in. And here's some crazy things that I'll show you, some wireless devices. And then it even gets to different security devices. And we even have, where's it at? Where's the sensors? Actuators, sensors, and things that can be used for different labs, such as IoT labs. So there's all kinds of things that we have available in here, but then you can actually just connect these. So you can say, I want to connect gigabit port here into gigabit port here, and gigabit ports here, and the gigabit ports over here. And so you can build topologies and networks and do simulated networks using the tool outside of just the pre-built packet tracers, if you so choose to do so. Especially once you get to where you're through, 2 of the classes, 2 of the Cisco classes, CCNA 1 and 2, and you're comfortable with it, then you'll have this tool available to use. Any questions? By the way, you can even pull out devices like they even have servers, and they even have web servers. So from Meraki servers, here's a web, this server can actually have, you can configure, if you want DNS on it. On the desktop, you can even configure a web browser. You can configure a web server on it. So there's all kinds of things you can do in a simulated environment. It's kind of neat. Okay, so what I want you to do at this point is I'm going to go over one more time our different places. Netacad.com, once you're logged in, on your I'm Learning tab, you should see your class, which for you is going to be that Introduction to Networks. You're going to click Launch Course, and then you're going to use the module section to find all content and assessments. So you can click here or here, and you will see all of the different modules and what we're going to complete. Do not forget, before you can click on any of the links for our assignments, you must first open the curriculum so that it is open at least once, and then the links inside of the modules will work. They will not work until then. Like I said, now they will open because you have opened that. Once you're ready to do a lab that uses NetLabs, which for us will not be until module 2, you will log into NetLabs, and I'm actually going to end this reservation, so I'm not using a site, but you're going to go to schedule, You'll schedule a lab for yourself. You will only have one class, which should be the ITC Intro V7 SP 2020. You'll see the list of all the labs that we have available, and you'll just click on it, and then you will pick you a time that you can do the lab and schedule it. I do ask if you schedule a lab, so I'm just going to do a real quick schedule a lab for 50 minutes in the future, and you'll see it's on my list. If you have a lab that you have scheduled and you find out you're not going to use it, you can go in and cancel the reservation. So if you've scheduled one couple for this weekend, the other thing I ask is don't do back-to-back reservations. But if you've scheduled one, you realize I'm really going to be gone this weekend. If you can remember, go in and cancel that reservation so that the reservation is not sitting there being unused. I also will tell you the neat thing about this is I can actually go in and look at usage, and I can look at the labs, and I can see every command that you type in on a router or a switch, which is very helpful for me when I'm trying to troubleshoot items that you have in terms of problems.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes.
Hey, question. For those of us who have two courses that we're doing simultaneously,
Yep.
when we go into the net labs, will we see our other course?
Yes, you will see the other course. Now, your instructor may not have placed you in there yet. What other course are you in?
I'm in the
Are you in the second CCNA 2?
Yeah, the second one, the switching,
Okay.
the routing, the wireless.
Yeah. Kirby may not have put y'all in a class yet. And again, we hang that. Usually, we don't do that till after our first class meeting. I just did it today because I had time to do it. The reason we do that is to make sure people will see it and they'll try to log in and won't know how to do it. So we try to show them how to do it first. But you should get in there. If you're not in there in the next 2 days or so, let me know and I'll ping Kirby and find out what's going on.
Roger that.
But you will see two classes. You will basically just see the two that you're in. Just pick the one you want to do your lab in and go from there. Okay. Any other questions? I'm actually going to stop sharing my desktop. Any other questions? Okay. So, I got all these chats. So do you have a point for answering questions? That's fine. If you want to edit the PDF and put the answers in blue, that is fine. If you don't have a PDF editor, you can put the answers in a Word document and just upload that. Okay. Okay, Peyton, Payment asks, so we can complete the NDG labs at any time. We need to schedule a time frame for it. Correct. You just need to schedule a time frame for it inside of netlabs.stanley.edu to do the NDG labs. And the screenshot, you don't have to do a screenshot for the NDG labs because I can see it. Peter asked, for the packet tracer assignments, do we submit a SNP or do you also want the packet tracer file, or is it one or the other? It's both, Peter. I want a SNP and the file. That way I can look in and make sure that you are, if there's an issue, I can look into the file, so it's both. Is there a schedule available for future courses? Okay, I will send you a link right now as to where that will be. It is not at this moment completed. In fact, I don't have the summer schedule available, but I'm going to paste in here the link to that, and it is just stanley.edu/instructor-training-center, and then there's this class schedules right there. I will have the summer schedule up in the next 3 or 4 weeks, probably 3 weeks. Summer classes will start end of May, 1st of June. Probably will not start the end of May because I go to Cisco Live on May 31st, and I don't want classes starting during that week. So it will either be the week before that or the first week in June after that. So but yes, we will. By the way, our Instructor Training Center offers all 3 of the CCNA classes every semester. We will also have a CCNA Cyber Ops and IT Essentials this summer, as long as there's enough instructors to take it. The only class I'm not going to offer again this summer is that IoT Fundamentals and Connecting Things, because that's one we're trying to run and see. Amanda also said, do we have to turn in answers to the questions for the Look and See labs? Yes, Amanda, please put those in a Word document and upload those for the Look and See labs. So please do upload those. Any other questions? Very, very good turnout, folks. I'm extremely impressed with the number of folks here today. I am actually going to stop the recording.